Hi, everybody. Time for another episode of In the Trenches. I think this is episode number 19, I believe. And the date is September the 13th. And yeah, I'm in the trenches with you. This is a podcast I put together for business owners, but you know, a lot of it's just for me as well. I like to document. I've been doing this for about a year and a half now, I guess. Documenting what stage I'm at, where I'm going, how I'm handling things. And maybe one day I'll look back on this when I'm retired and in a wheelchair or sitting on a beach, hopefully, or on a dock at a lake somewhere and look back and say, oh, look what I did. I did something here. I'm a pretty passionate guy, as you can tell by my hand gestures, and I like to try and figure out this business stuff, and hopefully this will help somebody who's out there starting their new business or in a business and wondering, you know, is there a better way to do things, or somebody that can relate to what I'm going through, which I'm sure a lot of small business owners can do that. So it's the middle of September. My seasonal exterior season is coming to an end, and I want to put a push on the last of my of the exterior season. I haven't quite figured out how to do that. I'm probably going to put a ad together, some kind of video, and post it to either Google Word AdWords, or maybe Facebook, but haven't had much success with Facebook. But I'm going to try and push that out. I'm going to put some stuff on my website as well, and yeah, maybe AdWords is probably the way to go. Let's see. Our quarter end, our third quarter is coming to an end in 2 weeks, and I'm caught up on all my QuickBooks stuff. This year, I have a separate bank account where I'm putting all my HST. So every time I get paid, I throw my HST into that account, and I don't even think about it. So there actually should be a surplus of money in there after I figure out all my ITCs, which is the tax credits for HST. All the HST I spent on subcontractors and materials all gets taken off the top total. So yeah, there should be a couple $1,000s left in there, which is nice to start the next quarter with, having a surplus. Another thing that I've done, and which I'm benefiting from a lot, is not having employees. I have been using subcontractors, and it's just so easy. There's no payment out of source deductions. There's no WSIB. They've taken care of all that. They got their own WSIB. They've got their own insurance, and they just hand me a bill, and I write them a check. I send them an e-transfer for what they've done, staple it all together, put it in my QuickBooks, and it's done. Even myself, I've taken myself off the payroll. I throw myself some money every once in a while, and I have a separate account in my personal checking account, which I'm putting 25-30% aside. So on top of what I'm paying myself as well too, so that I'm not in for any surprises at the end of the year. As a matter of fact, my pay this year is a lot lower than what it was last year. But you know what? I've cut back on a lot of expenses, and I really looked at my business and cut back on some stuff that I was spending on that I didn't need to. A lot of downgrades from stuff like diamond storage. Having subcontractors, I don't need a lot of equipment, so I ended up selling a ton of ladders and just leftover shit that was in my big locker. Sold a bunch of it, and then downgraded to a locker that was the third of the size and a third of the cost. So I'm spending under $300 this year per month on storage, but I still need to have it because it's good for drop cloths and ladders and some other stuff that I've got there. Leftover paint that like ceiling paint or trim paint, it's always there, and my guys have that code, and they can go in and out as they need to. you know, I've been doing a lot of what I've really discovered about this business. I really like the marketing side of it. Like I said about this podcast, no one's really watching it yet, anyway. And however, I enjoy putting all this together, and I use a editing software called Power Director 365, and I'm watching a lot of YouTube videos on how to do different things. So. I'm just learning how to do collages of pictures, because at the end of every job I take pictures like crazy. My guys send me pictures. I usually do a video walkthrough at the start and then end it up with pictures, and sometimes I'll do a video walkthrough at the very end as well. And I've been discovering some cool ways of putting all that stuff together, and it's a lot of fun. I like it, and I post that stuff to Facebook, and I post it to Instagram, and my website guy posts all those finished projects, I should say, to my website as well. And these podcasts all go on the website as well. So, marketing in general, I was told there's no such bad posts. Just contributing to the internet often can give me an organic boost on social media and Google. However, I've been on page 4 of the Google searches when somebody types in painting contractors in Ottawa for the longest time. I haven't done any AdWords lately in probably 3 or 4 years with Google, so I don't know if that makes a difference, but I am going to be looking into that because I've been adding content like crazy to Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and my website, and I'm not moving. I'm still on page 4. Which doesn't make a lot of sense. There's a lot of guys that have not been in business as long as I have. Some new guys that are there that are on page 1 and 2 organically, not the sponsored ones at the top and bottom. So that's a little bit frustrating, but at any rate, like I said, I'm enjoying this marketing side of things, and there's a lot more stuff that I want to do as well too. One of them is get into drones. I'd like to get a drone and maybe when I'm doing an exterior, have the drone hovering behind the painter. And there's some really cool shit that can be done like that, which I'm interested in just playing around with. And like I said, I've been discovering this software, this editing software, and I've been just voicing over my walkthroughs there, but now I've discovered how I can put myself in the picture in the corner in a little oval, and I just recorded over a walkthrough that we finished on a project, a four-bedroom townhouse, and I'm going to put all that together and see if we can, we're polishing things up every time, every time that I put a finished project together, it's getting a little bit better. So that's kind of cool and new. And as well, I'd like to maybe for this exterior push, maybe try doing some videos and adding them to my Homestars profile and maybe some of my other like Facebook, and boost it, but a really polished, well done one. I might probably just ask for some help from a marketing guy. That's the best way to do it, because I'm not that good yet. So again, every time I make a video, I'm putting it onto YouTube, and my channel's getting pretty big now. So I need to talk with some other businesses in Ottawa, I think, some other painting companies, and maybe get their take on Google AdWords, if that's even working these days. I heard that it's really shot up in price, and when I look for general contractors, there's no organization. It's just whoever's got spending the most amount of money is on page 1. So, and I'm not interested in spending a ton of money unless the return is good. So, Yeah, aside from that, this year has been a really sort of a stepping back kind of year. I've been so busy the last 2 months. We really pumped out a lot of production, and I think my numbers on my business plan are up to about 250 this year, and I'll probably end the year out with another 150 maybe, so close to 4. It would be nice. I wasn't even counting on that much because when I looked at and I projected my possible tentative revenue this year, I think I was at 350, something like that, because based on the numbers from last year, and it was such a slow spring, and I don't understand why, but I surprised myself the last couple of months. I made up for our bad spring in the fall, which is weird, in the middle of summer also. And my team is good. They can pump out stuff. They've got 10 guys available. I can throw them 2 projects at a time, and they can bang it out. So we're actually coming off a pretty busy run. I'm down to about 4 or 5 contracts left, and I've got a bunch of other ones that I've quoted. And tentatively, there's going to be a restaurant that we're going to be doing downtown as well too. So we'll see how that goes. One of the things that I'm really fine tuning as well too is my business plan. And I used to think to myself, oh, you got a business plan. All it is just a list of checkmark stuff. How are you going to run your business? What's the structure going to look like? All that kind of stuff. But the business plans I've been using break down all my sales coming in, and it breaks down how much the contract, the quote is, what the status of the quote is, and I shift my quotes from ongoing to production. And once it goes to production, I put it in my job costing stuff, and then I break down all the numbers, and I keep track of all my deposits. I keep track of what my labor costs, all my material costs, and it breaks it all down to what my gross profit is on each job. And I'm tracking for 50% this year, and that's after. So what that means is after buying materials and spending money on my subcontractors, my business is making 50% of what the total revenue of that is. So that's where it should be, and I've been maintaining that. So I'm not really, yes, I'm not as busy, but I'm not lowering my prices. I'm just not doing that. I'm not interested in it. And another thing about this business plan is that everything is mapped out, and this year's business plan is better than last year's, and next year's is going to be better than this one. There's a couple of things I'd like to track as well, which I have my business plan this year where it's breaking down all the materials and labor, and then on another sheet it breaks down what the percentages are, and it's a duplicate almost. So I'm going to fine tune that in December, and I'll have a better, easier to manage business plan on that. So it's a work in progress, and it's tracking all the important numbers right now, and that's what I need to focus on. Have I switched over the HST to the bank, to my separate bank account? It's tracking all that stuff, and where all my numbers, have I invoiced them? Am I waiting on some money? Have they paid me chunks? Here's what happens: I get a job that's worth $8,000, and somebody can only send me $3,000 or $2,000 at a time. So now I'm expecting 4 $2,000 payouts. Keeping track of that is really important, because somebody can just, I could just say, okay, it's been paid. I sent the invoice out, and I'm waiting day by day, and I got to chase a lot of people. So I've got it highlighted in red. Yeah, it's not paid yet. So you need to really be on top of that. And I could see if I was $1 million revenue every year, how that can get really confusing. Because it'd be red everywhere. I would have to be, I'd be a bigger operation. I'd have an assistant that would track that stuff and maybe chase that money. But that's what having a small business is all about, is being able to follow your contract and then following up. So yeah, pushing the exterior stuff. I've had a really busy year personally. I did a bunch of stuff around my house. And to be quite honest, it's September. I'm starting to shut down my pool. I'm, fall cleanups coming up. So, there's no vacation coming up anytime soon either. However, it'd be nice to get that done, but it's just been a taxing year, and it's been busy, but I don't know. It is what it is. I'm not killing myself. I think one of the best things that I've got going for me with these subcontractors is these small jobs that I got. I can take a couple of guys on from that I know that are painters, and I can, a $2,000 job I can take on. So I'm doing a $1,600 one next week, and a little wallpaper job, and painting a couple of stairwells. And we're gonna walk away with $1,600 cash, so that's nice. I can pay my guy $400, and then I'll pocket the other 12, and that's great gravy money, And that particular one's cash as well too. So I like having that option of picking and choosing, and not living with the stress of worrying if my employees are going to be able to feed their family or have a nice Christmas. That alone takes off a lot of stress from me having subcontractors. I've done both. I've had employees for the longest time. And around this time it starts slowing up. October, November can be slow months. February, January, February, March, really slow months. And it's like, people need money. People need money, and if I can't provide a steady income for somebody, I get guilty, feel guilty. And it's just like, it's hard to keep good people when you can't promise them 40 hours a week. It's difficult. What are you supposed to do? Pay them anyway? I can't do that because that's just not in the budget. So subcontractor method, really good. And you know what? They've got their own separate side jobs, and it works out for everybody. So anyway, I'm in the trenches with you, and this is Paul, and this has been another episode of In the Trenches, and I'll check back in on you in a couple of weeks, maybe a month. We'll talk to you then.